Hello and welcome back, YouTube. This is Phil, and I'm continuing my Let's Play of Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2, the Sith Lords. So in the last episode, we went through the prologue section of the on the Ebon Hawk, repaired the hyperdrive, stabilized our player character, got introduced to quite a few gameplay elements that we'll be seeing throughout the game. And our final trick here is to activate the galaxy map, which is how you navigate from one playable section to another. You got a few different hub worlds that you'll travel between once the game sort of opens up, kind of more in the second half, second 2/3. So for this, we're going to use our galaxy map to actually fly to the planet of Paragus. Although we're not going to the planet itself, we're actually going to a station around that's dug into one of the asteroids.
The Paragus mining station. To dock with Paragus, left-click on the Paragus planet to...
Cool, got it. So this is the Ebon Hawk, of course. This is the planet. Once the game kind of opens up, there'll be more planets scattered around that we'll be able to travel to. And we got to go here, we got to go somewhere else. Maybe a third place after that, and then the galaxy will open up a little bit. So for now, we selected our station, Paragus 2, climate none, terrain asteroid, Paragus mining station. Paragus itself was a planet used to mine fuel for spaceships, kind of like industrial grade fuel that was in high demand across the galaxy. Evidently, at some point, someone, I don't know, lit a match or shot off a firework or a blaster bolt, a grenade, something, and caused a big enough explosion that it blew a big chunk out of the planet itself. So, oh, something is happening. So we landed on the space station. Now that ominous banging we heard from the storage compartment in the main hold, something is happening, and oh my gosh, it is an HK droid. If you played KOTOR 1, then you're probably familiar, HK-47, the assassin droid that was one of your companions. Of course, that guy was red. This guy's more of a gunmetal gray, unironically. Right, so we're on a mining station, Paragus. They still mine fuel, but now they do it from the asteroids instead of from the planet surface. So this is our player character here in the center in a KOTOR tank. I can never pronounce that correctly. As well as surrounded by several miners. You could probably surmise from the red lights glowing underneath the other four that they are in not as good a shape as we are. And then, sorry if I spoke over it and you missed the subtitle, but someone spoke in our head, awaken. And so awoke we did. How we end up in a KOTOR tank, why we're still alive and the other guys are dead, we do not know. Those are some sweet kicks for sure. Journal entry. Let's see what our quest is. Bonus, recent history bonus mission. You have awakened in a medical bay in an unknown facility. The last thing you remember is being on passenger on a Republic capital ship, the Harbinger. You should find out where you are and how you got there. That's all we know. I kind of had maybe somewhat of a relatively unique perspective playing this game, since I did not play a full playthrough of KOTOR 1 before I started KOTOR 2. I was pretty young. I only rented the first Knights of the Old Republic and didn't buy it, which means I only had about a week to play it before I had to go back to, I think, Hollywood Video. So this character doesn't really know what happened. He doesn't know the events of KOTOR 1. And neither did I. So I was kind of figuring that out as the game went on. So as you can see, our map up here, it's got these green lines, which means we just haven't explored. Immersion in KOTOR tanks can heal most wounds if you have lost vitality points, indicated right here. During your explorations, return here to the medical bay and use the empty KOTOR tank behind you to heal your wounds. So we can get in there and heal up if we take some damage. Door, easy, and more doors. Not a Lord of the Rings reference. So you can see this door, pretty banged up. Any door that can be bashed open can be cut through more easily with a lightsaber or construction tool such as a plasma torch. To bash open this door, equip a plasma torch on the equip screen and select bash on the first box in the action menu where the door is selected. Cool. So security, of course, is not going to work because this door is all kinds of messed up. And to bash it, we could try to hit it, but banging your fists on this kind of door, no matter how sweet your combat moves are, it's not going to open. So we got the morgue door and the other door. Medical bay container. Let's see what's in here. It's not locked. We just open it. Med pack. Awesome. Medical computer. Lab station. This is the other component to the crafting system to the workstation. However, this is where you can break down items, use lab station, and then create things using chemicals. As you can see here. So you got like med packs, stems, mines, and grenades. So these are, consumables you can use once to heal, to cure poison. These are implants that you can actually install into your characters and give various passive bonuses. This is a skill required to actually create this in addition to your chemical cost. And then minimum constitution is that attribute has to be at least 18 in order to install the strength D package, which gives a pretty good bonus. So if you're at 18, this would give you 19. Doesn't affect the modifier any. But if you're at 19, it'll bump you up to 20, and then strength +1 as well. Medical storage door. Locked. Perhaps a nearby console can open it. Or we could use our security skill, which is what we just did. Which gives us a little bit of experience. Medical bay container again. Chemicals. And once you know we have a lab station right there, we could test this out on, which I think I will do. I'll just use the lab station med pack. I'll go ahead and create. So it costs 20. We have 25. I'll make 1. Bam. 5 chemicals left. We have 5 med packs. Hopefully that'll be enough. So this console was not locked, or we didn't have to slice in or whatever. It was just available. And emergency lockdown, enter command. Here are various commands. Access medical logs. See 253-12, 3 days ago. These are like hologram recordings. We'll go through these. These kind of used to fill in the backstory of what exactly happened. So let's...
Still examining the survivors of the damaged freighter. Looks like it goes by the name of the Ebon Hawk. Only one survivor, placed in the KOTOR tank for recovery. The carbon scoring on the vessel suggests it was in a battle, but no indication of who fired on it. Couldn't get much from the Nava computer. I'm surprised the ship was able to make it inside the Paragus asteroid field without the asteroid drift charts. Aside from the lone survivor, we recovered an old woman. No life signs. There was also a protocol droid and a utility droid on board. Sent both down to maintenance while security sorts through the other items on the ship. It looks like the utility droid, a T3 unit, was able to get the ship working enough to get to the colony. We're prepared to...
That's the static the holo recording ended in.
Could be a Jedi. But we won't know for sure until we get the transmission back from the Republic. If the survivor is a Jedi, that would account for the recovery rate. But I'm more concerned that a Jedi here may cause trouble. Some of the miners, especially KOTOR, are already Another accident today. A detonation in the ventilation tunnels. If the lockdown measures hadn't activated, the whole facility would have been destroyed. Got most of the injured to the KOTOR tanks in time, but the rest had to go to the morgue. One of the wounded said a droid caused the accident, but we couldn't get any specifics.
And our final one day ago.
A number of the droids have been acting oddly, and not even memory wipes seem to be fixing the problem. There was a detonation in another one of the fuel vents the droids were working in. We deactivated several of them and moved them down to maintenance, but we're still treating the plasma burns. That cuts us down to almost half shifts, and with the droids malfunctioning, we may not make the Telos shipment for this month. Fortunately, the detonation didn't cause a lockdown. Warning, there has been a fuel detonation in the mining tunnels. Emergency lockdown commencing. All personnel report to quarters and prepare for emergency venting countermeasures. No! If the ventilation systems are malfunctioning, evacuate the medical bay. Everyone evacuate.
That wasn't eerie at all, and that's what you get for saying it didn't cause a lockdown. Okay, access patient. Life signs. Deceased recovered. Fortunately, that's us. Deceased. Treatment. All subjects being treated for severe plasma burns. Last treatment request results in death of all subjects except for patient 3, who is reduced to minimal life signs. Treat injury. Check last treatment request. A lethal dose of sedatives was administered to all the tanks, including ours. There is no record of who ordered the treatment. That's a little suspicious. We get attempts to track the treatment request. We don't have any spikes, unfortunately. So if I clicked on it, not enough spikes. Awesome. Access metal bay functions. Camera. Yeah, that's where we were. Morgue. Spooky. There's the woman from the ship. Unlock the door. If we had tried to open it before, it would have said locked. Inventory. Medical based items can be manufactured using workbench, which we just did, but thank you for pointing it out. And main console options brings us back to the main thing. So, yep. Saw that. There we go. Got some experience points. I'll go poke around amongst the dead and see what we can find. Corpse looks dead, but there's no sign of what killed her. Spooky. Other corpse. Got the plasma torch. This will allow us to bash through the door. And oh my goodness, she was not dead.
Find what you're looking for amongst the dead.
If you couldn't tell, that was a look of utter shock and terror on her face, but it's 2004, so you gotta play act some of this stuff. I thought you were dead.
Close to death. Yes, closer than I'd like. You have the smell of the KOTOR tank about you. How do you feel?
Itchy. And a little disoriented. Was it your voice I heard in a KOTOR tank?
Yes, I had hoped as much. I slept here too long and could not awaken. It may be I reached out unconsciously, and your mind must have been a willing one. Or perhaps you have been trained for such things.
So you can touch minds and feign death. Who are you?
I am Kreia, and I am your rescuer, as you are mine. Tell me, do you recall what happened?
Last thing I remember, I was on board a Republic ship, the Harbinger. What happened to it? I like to be polite because I'm going light side in this.
Your ship was attacked. You were the only survivor. A result of your Jedi training, no doubt.
Who said we were a Jedi? If you think I'm a Jedi, you're mistaken. I'm no longer a member of the Jedi Order. How do you know I was a Jedi? So one thing that's a little interesting, a difference between KOTOR 2 and KOTOR 1. In KOTOR 1, your character was amnesiac, like you had no memory of who you were. You just woke up in a bed on the Endar Spire. In this, you know who you are. However, you were removed from the events of the galaxy, aka the events of KOTOR 1, for the past 15 years. You were off doing other things. You're kind of... And you started like working for the Republic, helping them out. So you discover through your conversation options your own backstory. Like, yes, we were here trying to figure out what happened between the Harbinger and us waking up in a KOTOR tank on a unknown facility, but you know that your character used to be part of the Jedi Order but isn't anymore. So we'll select that one.
Your stance, your walk tells me you are a Jedi. Your walk is heavy. You carry something that weighs you down.
And this is one of those dialogue options where it looks like it might have branching paths, and you do have various paths throughout this game. I love the writing in this game. I think it's pretty solid, if a little incomplete sometimes. Whereas we could say, start talking about the Jedi Order, and then she'll say, we don't have time to talk about this. Let's deal with the here and now. Or we can just go with the let's deal with the here and now. So I don't want to be rude. I don't want to talk about my past, so let's deal with the here and
I
now.
do not know. I was removed from the events of the world as I slept. A survey of the surroundings may provide the answers we seek.
The ship we arrived in, the Ebon Hawk, must still be in this place. We should recover it and leave.
Why do we need to
We were
leave?
attacked once, and I fear our attackers will not give up the hunt so easily. Without transport, weapons, and information, they will find us easy prey indeed.
This is a conversational skill check. If our awareness wasn't, if we didn't have any awareness, then I believe that this option just wouldn't appear.
Even as I slept, I felt much unrest here. I saw strange visions, minds colored with fear. Now, everything here feels terribly silent. A last word of caution. I would find out as much as you can about this place quickly. I fear we will need to depart as suddenly as we arrived.
We'll see. There's got to be someone left alive around here. I'll go look for our ship and some weapons or anything else I should keep an eye out for.
You may wish to extend your search to some clothes, if only for proper first impressions.
This counts as underwear in the Star Wars universe. Persuade check. Persuade, intimidate. Persuade, intimidate, I believe, lends itself to more of the dark side options. See. Patient med were killed. Any idea how it happened? Miners in Bay were murdered. Know why? Are you well enough to travel? Discovered patient med. So this is kind of talking. This is more to skill check to get a little bit more information.
I do not know.
Success.
Why did they spare you?
They didn't. I got the same dose but survived. I am trained to resist poisons of the body. Maybe I'll ask the killer when I find him or her. So this is kind of telling you the character, is trained to resist poisons of the body, which, as you kind of find out, is part of that Jedi training that they have. This isn't us just kind of pulling out of thin air.
Indeed, a Jedi trance could protect one from such poisons. In fact, the sedatives may have been intended to keep you unconscious for some time. It would prove lethal to those untrained in such techniques, however. Most curious.
Like 4 other people not trained in those techniques. You seem to know a lot about Jedi techniques.
Perhaps we could discuss it at length later on. Now we have other concerns, among them finding our new enemy.
And I'll go with the
I leave you
polite
with the
option.
explorations of this place. Here I will remain and attempt to center myself.
Light side points. Yay. Because we're nice guys. When I was a kid, I was a good boy, I guess you could say. I did not like going the dark routes. I wasn't a fan of just running innocent people over with my car in like GTA or anything. I like being a hero. I like being the good guy. I don't know why, but I embrace it. So we've taken our first steps on the path to the light side. Heroic acts and charitable responses to others will elevate you further, bringing you more in touch with the light side of the Force and its higher mysteries. Cruel or selfish actions will reverse this, causing you to follow the dark side. And this is just a pure... Is this it? No. Here we go. Slider. It's not like in Mass Effect where you could build both Paragon and Renegade. At the same time, this is you earn points to bring you up or points to bring you down. So there are some conversations with enough dialogue options where you can get both light and dark side points, and it will tell you, light side gain, dark side gain, net, light or dark side, whatever you had the most of, and then this will pull us more. And as we get pulled more up here, or down, the background will start to change, and eventually we got this really cool energy blast and a +3 to wisdom. Okay, so what do we know so far? Woke up in a strange building. We used to be a Jedi. Everyone here was administered a dose of sedatives. Did the killer know that we were Jedi, or were they just trying to kill everyone? Obviously something funny is going on. We saw from the recordings that droids have been malfunctioning recently ever since we showed up, and then also there's a little bit of possible consternation amongst the miners just at the fact that a Jedi showed up. We don't know why, but there might be a reason. Again, we're in a remote mining facility in a distant corner of the galaxy. This is not like a great place where the best of people live. You get a lot of hard-working blue-collar folks. Maybe some of them aren't the nicest of people. Not by default, just, for story development. Alright, so body here. We got through the door, plasma torch, cut through. First body, vibro cutter. Normally, a mining tool vibro cutter doubles as an effective melee weapon. Melee weapons give an attacker a large bonus to attack against enemies using ranged weapons. Equip the vibro cutter in your other weapon, slide and switch between in the plasma torch. You need to cut through a container open door. Just see if there's anything else to loot. Droid neural pacifier. That is a droid weapon. That is not something that we can equip. So we'll go up here. Vibro cutter. So you see weapon proficiency required, melee weapons, damage, physical 1 through 10, critical threat 19 to 20 times 2, balance +2 +0 versus off 2 weapon penalty if used in offhand. Vibro cutter is used for carving asteroid rock and can double as a melee weapon if necessary. Small size makes it for a good offhand weapon. So you can see it looks like a sword, so we use it like a sword. There's nothing else here that we can equip. Yes. So obviously in the KOTOR universe, or storyline rather, they have melee weapons, you know, swords, weapons that aren't lightsabers. And oh, it's our first bit of combat, so you can see a pause. But they have, you know, swords, things that are not lightsabers. Obviously, because this is a video game universe, the non-Jedis need a way to fight the guys with lightsabers. Because if you just use a regular sword, you're going to cut down pretty easily. And just watching hundreds of people, you know, fire blasters and get deflected is kind of boring. In universe, a lot of these melee weapons, you know, the descriptions will say they have a special coating that allows them to do combat with lightsabers without, which is why they don't just get sliced in half and then the lightsaber slices the wielder in half. I wonder, I'm not sure, but I wonder if any of this is inspired by the Dune series, because in that book, that universe, a lot of the ranged weapons were kind of rendered ineffective by the use of shields, because you had like your basic guns, and it's like, cool, you wear a shield, the guns don't affect you, so people started using knives again and melee weapons, because you could stab someone with a knife through a shield if it moves slowly enough. So that kind of brought back, even though you're in this sci-fi universe with FTL spaceships and lasers and stuff, you still had people using knives and guns, and it was just kind of a balance between, well, we can't shoot the guy, so we have to use a knife. We can't use a laser because the laser will detonate the shield and kill everyone. So that was our first bit of combat. We'll go through it a couple times here. So again, it pauses at the beginning, allows you to, you can, you know, queue up an attack. So I could say I want to attack this guy twice. Once to engage, you automatically attack your target each round. You do not have to left click again. Got it. Got it. Cool. So if I click here, it'll queue up basic attacks, or you can clear them out. You can clear this out, and well, since it started around, it may not be able to clear out, but then you can add multiple critical strike, power attack. You can do a couple attacks. So right now we're starting our critical strike. You can use the Q and E keys to swap over to another target, and then so now it will attack this guy with this attack, and then this one will go against the other bad guy, the other mining droid. So I'm going to clear this out, since I prefer to deal with swordies one at a time. You do need to, once you kill an enemy, quickly click on the next guy, or you know, focus on him, select an attack. Otherwise, your character might just stand there waiting for you to input a command. You don't want to stand there and just get shot. Obvious reasons. Alright, we're going to continue making our way down. Running across droids and any story beats, looting dead bodies, droid optimized interface, droid motion tracker, things for droids. Emergency hatch. Why not try to open it?
This is the
Ooh.
exit, but it is sealed. Strange. In my visions, it was open.
Is that you talking to us? I didn't know you could do that. I had not seen The Last Jedi at this point. It is odd this emergency hatch hasn't opened considering the circumstances. There may be a way to open it if you could get access. If you could get to an access terminal. Sorry, I thought that said tunnel. So become apparent to me doing this YouTube Let's Play. This is my first Let's Play. That talking drains a lot more of the old brain RAM computing process than you might think, trying to talk and play. I've seen other YouTubers and they've said much the same thing, but it is a little bit, it's harder for me than I would have thought. So we'll just using the Q and E keys to kind of cycle through. Just that helps make sure you don't actually accidentally skip over something that could help you out. Alright, so that's a security desk. You can see this door is not locked, so the security desk may not necessarily be to open this door. Security control, emergency lockdown, make console commands. Check security records. These are more logs, so we'll go ahead and start going through these.
Is this thing on? Alright, all hands, especially you, KOTOR. Listen up, because I'm not gonna say this again. The next one of you Juma heads to try and smuggle a blaster, or so help me, any sort of military-grade frag weapons into my facility is gonna take a long walk out the airlock. Why? Because in case you forgot, Paragian fuel explodes at high temperatures. That's what blasted that chunk out of Paragus 2 and created this asteroid field. So if I catch any of you with anything other than sonic charges or mining lasers, I'll burn you and your contract. Security out.
A little bit of exposition there on the planet we're on.
And according to one of the miners, it was because one of the sonic charges went off prematurely. And like before, it was one sent by a mining droid. The three idiots were grouped so close to the charge, it might as well have been a grenade going off. The blast turned their bones to dust. The blast wrecked the internal components of the droid that set the charge, though, so we can't even dissect it to see what happened. I don't like what's going on here. Ever since that Jedi showed up, things are getting worse. It's not just KOTOR and his miners, or the fights, but now the droids are acting crazy. If we don't find what's causing this, or who, this facility is going to be space dust by the time the next Telos freighter arrives.
Alright, so we got some suspicious things going on. Droids not doing things they're not supposed to. We got a miner, Corda, M-I-N-E-R, who apparently is causing trouble and has been clashed with authority before. And then that's also the second time we've heard the name Telos and how this fuel mining colony may be pretty important. You know, they might have an important relationship there.
So, you're in maintenance. Then maybe you can tell me what's going on with these droids.
Sir, I don't know. It's like their behavior cores are undergoing binary decay, but I can't find the source. This shouldn't be happening.
Well, that's reassuring. It isn't happening. So the next time we nearly have a breach in the ventilation tunnels, I can just close my eyes and pretend it's my imagination. You better give me some answers. I want to know the damage these droids can do if they start mining us instead of asteroid rock.
Sir, these droids aren't combat models. Their mining lasers are weaker and less accurate than blasters. I doubt those droids could even hit one of us.
Are you blind? What about the miners in medbay? It's sabotage, and it started right after the commander said we weren't going to sell the Jedi to the exchange. So I want you to find out how these droids are being sabotaged. That'll tell me who's trying to clear a path to get that Jedi off the facility and stop him. In the meantime, make sure the security's armed with all the ion and sonic charges you can find. If those droids start coming after me, I'm gonna need more than low-grade mining lasers to take them down. Clear?
Yes, sir. Maintenance control out.
Idiot.
Alright, so more strange things are afoot. They also noticed or mentioned selling the Jedi to the exchange and how that might be causing a lot of problems. Apparently we, as a Jedi, are worth something to someone. That's all we know. Administration console maintenance.
I installed an override switch to shut down any droids on this level, just in case someone locks me out of the administration console. As added insurance, I tied the override switch into the circuit to the holding cell door. It'll make sure it can only be opened if all droids in the level are shut down. I doubt KOTOR or any of his men have the skill to pull off something like this, but I'm not taking any chances while we're sitting in the middle of this asteroid minefield. Whoever's responsible won't be able to have the droids rescue him after I lock him up. Nothing will cut through that door. He'll be trapped. I secured the stealth field generator inside one of the footlockers in the security storage room. If I have the specs right, the interface field should be effective against the droid's sensors. All I need to do is equip the belt, and some skill with stealth in order to use it. As long as I don't get too close to the droids, they shouldn't detect me. If any more droids start malfunctioning, the belt should buy me enough time to get to the override switch I set up in the communications blister console. I'd rather shut them down than destroy them. I want to find out how these droids are being sabotaged, maybe even turn them against whoever's sabotaging them.
Okay, so we have security guys kind of backup plan. As long as any droids are functioning, there is a shield on the holding cell door. So in order to get to the holding cell, you have to shut down all the droids have to be deactivated. So ideally, is they could find whoever's doing this, lock him up, and then the droids won't be able to rescue him. And in addition to that, there's a override switch on the administration console that will automatically deactivate all the droids, as well as a conveniently placed stealth field generator here in this room, which we already picked up. So this is kind of your stealth tutorial. You put on the belt, walk over to the administration console, use that to shut down all the droids, if that's what you want to do. I don't believe I have any skill in stealth, so I won't be able to do that. Cameras, main security office. There's us. Storage room. Oh, that's not good. Comm blister. Blister being the glass bubble that everyone thinks is a good idea to put on space stations. Holding cells. There's a dude. Emergency hatch to the mining tunnels. That was the door we were just at. Main console. There we go. Oh.
Be careful. There is much energy in the room beyond, yet it stems from nothing that lives.
Kreia, what?
Can you not sense them? Reach out. Cast aside your sight. Cast aside what you see, and instead reach out with your perceptions. Ah, you can feel them. The droids you cannot perceive, but the small oscillations of energy, that you can feel, echoing outwards.
With Kreia's help, you have gained the passive precognition power. When this power is triggered, you should save your game. So occasionally throughout the game, we'll hit triggers for story beats, conversations with Kreia that will unlock certain passive abilities. I think usually they're passive. Like this one is the precognition power, and it's just sometimes you walk up to a door, you'll get a force vision of something beyond it. Typically it's like, hey, you might want to save your game, it's going to be a challenging room. So we'll take their advice. Saved. Oh, it's combat. Alright, so here you can see ion grenades. So we can add that to the queue. Ion, of course, or they're good against droids. Unpause. Check it out, and then 1 for 3. 3 for 1. What's happening? I feel strange, like the set is wearing off. There's something wrong with me. What is happening?
Force you feel. It has not been so long as for you to forget.
So when we're feeling something, Kreia can feel it in us. What's happening? And clearly we as the player doesn't know we don't know what it's like to have the Force, to come back in contact with the Force. But you can kind of choose how you want your character to react, but they're all basically saying the same thing.
Do not turn away from it. Listen. Feel it echoing within you. Come. I shall guide you down the familiar paths. You will need it if we are to survive and escape this place.
So basically what that all meant is we leveled up. Got enough experience, and we didn't have our force powers before, but now we do. So we leveled up. That's what this means. So we'll go ahead and do that, and we'll probably end this video since we're pushing 35 minutes-ish. So we're going to the following feats. So now that we leveled up, we are now actually a Jedi now, whereas before we had lost our connection to the Force somehow. We don't really know. Cool. So first level we get skills, 3 points. That's tied to our intelligence attribute. I always level up persuade. I like to do repair and then awareness. Why not? Next time I'll probably hit persuade, treat injury, and then repair awareness. And I like to keep them even as I level them up. So these are our force powers. Some active, some passive, some light side, some dark side, some neutral. So we get 1 for this level. I think every like 3rd or 4th level we get 2 force powers since we are consular. The other classes I believe will just get 1 every time. So this is our healing one. This is pretty important since with this you don't really need med packs anymore as long as you have force points, but you have to be level 6 to get it. So we have Aura, light side power restricted by armor. When it's activated, granted +2 defense to defense, +2 bonus to defense and all saving throws, lasts for 20 seconds. Burst of speed. This one has 2 effects. One is a combat effect that allows you to move very swiftly. So for 36 seconds, move speed is doubled, and 2 defense is gained. This will also, so this is an active ability that you have to select. And when you're not in combat, this actually allows you to run around the map quickly. It's not a fast travel system, but you do move a lot faster than what you normally do. Valor, we're not going to go through all of these. Just so these like speed. This is your energy shield and your physical shield. Those are kind of your base like light side defensive powers. Here you have battle meditation. This was Basila's unique power in the previous game. It's a universal power, and it's basically buffs your entire party, as you can see here. Force body, universal. This allows you to use your HP as force, basically. This is affect mind. This is kind of not the droids you're looking for. Use the force to... It opens up certain dialogue options throughout the game to persuade other people. This is your force push. Universal offensive power. You knock an enemy back, and then it stuns them for a few seconds. Stun and stun droid. These are your light side offensive powers. Kill, or wound rather. Wound, choke, kill. That's kind of your basic. This with the, lightning. Basic dark side bad guy stuff. You can throw your lightsaber once you get a lightsaber, and then plus a few others. I am going to go with stun droid, since we're going to be primarily fighting droids, and since we're going light side, it's good to build up some offensive light side powers. You can also use stun droid against mines. If your demolition skill is too low, you can use that and just detonate them in place. Okay, and then every time you level up, you can see how much experience we gain, how much is needed for the next level. Your level are force points, totals, attributes, modifiers, fortitude, will, reflex. We have other party members, you can see that as well. You can also, during the game, hold your mouse over and vitality, force, level 2, so on and so forth. Alright, so I'm going to end the episode here. Thank you for joining me. I'll be back with our next one, where we will continue to explore the Paragus mining facility. Bye.